Welcome back to AM Northwest. If you want a fulfilling life, our next guest says aiming for satisfaction might be better than chasing success. We welcome the author of the Fairy God Doctor's Guide to a Good Life, Dr. Denise Brown. Great to have you with us.
I'm glad to be here.
What inspired you to write this? Like, how did this all come about?
I have these fairy goddaughters, one of whom lives in Portland, and we sit around at night talking about things, and they said, "You seem like you have it all." And I was like, you know what? I do have it all, but I can't do it all.
Yeah.
And so one of the girls was like, "I wish you would write it down. Like, what are your secrets?"
Yeah.
And I kind of just put it in the back of my mind and chuckled about it. And then a little while later, I took some time off after selling a company, and I thought, you know what? Maybe now's the time to write it down.
After selling a company, because that's success.
That's success,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But is it satisfaction? No, they're different.
Yeah, and you've been a doctor for a long time.
A long
now,
time.
too.
I'm a child prodigy. No. Yes, I finished medical school in '97, finished my residency in 2001 at Stanford, and practiced medicine for a long time, and then kind of got into the business of medicine and ran a big company, and then ultimately had a health tech company and sold that and decided to take a year off, and I made it about 4 months before I was bored, and that's where my book came from.
Well, let's talk about, because you talk about prescriptions for the working mom, right? And the goal is, as we said in the intro, it's about satisfaction. Absolutely. So you say aim for satisfaction, not success. So how do you do that? What is your prescription, doctor?
Well, there you go. I mean, I think my prescription is being really honest with yourself about the things that matter. I think particularly as women, a lot of stuff gets thrown at us and we pick it up almost unintentionally, and we carry it around with us, and somehow these external priorities and visions and things we think we should be doing kind of take over our lives instead of sitting honestly and thinking, what really actually matters to me, and what do I need to do to kind of courageously defend that and be savage about it. So unintentional sort of things that we get added to our plate makes for exhaustion, and I really feel like we need to be more careful about it, put those things down, and only spin the plates that we want to spin.
Okay. You say also no balance. Like we hear that you can aim for a balance in what you do, but you say no balance. How does that work?
I mean, well, let's be honest. Have you ever found it?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No, I've been looking a long time myself. You can't find it because it doesn't exist. I mean, balance implies something goes up and something goes down.
Right. Work-life balance.
Life, we have one life. It's our life.
Right.
So what if we moosh it all together and you bring everything to the party every day? And I think when you give yourself the freedom to try to stop looking for balance and instead just realize some days I've got to focus a little bit more on that, and some days I have the opportunity to focus a little bit more on my kids or my job or my husband or myself, you kind of can mash it all together, which ends up, I think, giving us a lot more freedom, a lot more flexibility, and ultimately a lot more power in how we decide to spend our time.
Do you think that the death of your mom when you were 25 has a big impact on how you think about success and satisfaction?
Massive. Absolutely. So, I mean, I'm my age. My mom died when she's the age I am now.
Okay.
And
did you want to say that age?
Oh, I'm 53.
Okay.
I mean, rock on. I'm on the right side of the grass, girl. And so at 25, I sort of got fast forwarded, if you will, into the zero Fs era, where I realized that all of the things I had been chasing, the valedictorian in my high school class, the Phi Beta Kappas, all the things that indicate success were really kind of meaningless in the end.
Right.
And so I think a lot of us find that as we get older, but I got a chance to sort of find it right from the very get-go. And so it completely kind of changed the course of what I was going to go look for and really go after in my life versus checking all these little boxes.
Because your mom was the one that you went to for advice your entire life,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
She was the one that kind of...
She was my fairy godmother,
right?
as well as being my real mom.
Mother. Okay. Yeah. You talk about non-linear womanhood.
Mm-hmm. So that is a really fun one because I think especially for younger women, you sort of go to college and you've got to get your internship and then you're going to get your job, and it's a very linear kind of, you think you're on a track.
Right.
People even talk about, oh, I'm on this career track or the mommy track. Like that implies we're going one place.
Right.
And then when something falls off or something doesn't go quite right, now all of a sudden you feel like you've done something horribly wrong.
Right.
If we think about it as kind of a wandering and it's not linear at all, leaves you open to other possibilities, leaves you open to saying, well, yes, I would like to write a book. I'd never thought about that.
Yeah.
And I think it just gives you a more flexible approach to what it is that you're doing. And this happens a lot. I think people think, oh, I've got this wedding planning business and it's really good. I've built this great business, but it really now conflicts with my other priorities.
Right.
But I've already sunk all this time and energy. I must keep going. I have to stay on track. Instead, if you say, well, what if I did something else for a little bit and enjoyed my kids or enjoyed this and that, maybe I find my way back, maybe I find something better.
Right.
So I think that idea of just being willing to kind of step off to go look at the rhododendrons kind of off to the left really gives you a little bit more wiggle room to have a lot more fun and joy in your life.
Oh, sure. By the way, the rhododendron garden in Portland is incredible.
I was there yesterday, and
that's what made you say it.
Oh my God!
It's so beautiful,
they're
right?
So huge.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Really
One of my
awesome.
favorite places. We digress. Sorry
Yeah,
about that. Choices, decision, and concessions.
Yes. Everyone thinks that concessions are inherently bad. My example, I was recently married. My mom had died. We got married. I was at Stanford doing my residency. By all accounts, one of the greatest places in the world. My husband finished his doctorate program and took a job somewhere else.
Two smart people.
Suddenly, I'm by myself. And I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
And I had a patient who was sadly dying of leukemia, and she was like, why are you here?
Right.
And I was like, what do you mean? I'm at Stanford. She's like, but why are you here? He's there. Does it really matter that much?
Yeah.
And I mean, she blew my mind, Claudia, and I thought, does it really? What matters more to me?
Right.
So everyone would have thought that was a concession, but what ended up happening, I asked my program director, would it be so hard for me to go to Vanderbilt instead for a little while?
Yeah.
And he was like, we can make that happen. No one's ever asked.
I see.
So
what
off
you're
I went,
saying.
you know?
Yeah.
And so it ends up being mutually beneficial. It was great for me, it was great for Alex, worked out great for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from the external vision, it's like, oh, she gave this up. That was such a, no, I didn't. I got exactly what I wanted.
You wanted to be with Alex, and you wanted to do your work as well, and it all worked out.
It worked out great.
Oh, yeah. It makes sense. Booting the toxic triangle of comparison, guilt, and judgment.
Oh, I tell you, that is my biggest prescription because we are so mean to one another. I mean, as women, as people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, does my hair look right? Does she think, you know, that I'm doing, am I a good enough mommy? How am I comparing myself? Is my child's birthday party favors, are they as good as the other ones?
The biggest, the best.
Oh, for the love of God.
Right.
Like, quit it with the balloon arches and the party favors. I mean, let's just sit in the mud.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
For the love of God.
Yes.
So we have this kind of like, we set ourselves up. And then like, I can never be as good as you or as good as her. And the mommy versus mommy stuff is the absolute worst.
It's out of control.
And so what does that end up doing? We either are putting ourselves in positions to compete with one another, or we're judging one another. And like, we should all be, life is hard enough. Like, let's all link arms and like support one another.
Right.
And so my theory is go and find someone who is willing to step outside that triangle with you and make that person your ride or die. Yeah. And just say no to all the nonsense.
Right.
And step away from it.
Step away. I love that. Reimagined outsourcing. What does that mean?
Well, I think everyone thinks of outsourcing as it's going to cost me a fortune, right? Mm-hmm. Like, well, aren't you special? You have a nanny or you have a this, or you know, like, no. When I was working and on call at the hospital every 4 nights, the biggest problem I had was what to make for dinner when I got home from the hospital, right? It was a nightmare. And my husband would say something like, oh, whatever you want, dear. I'm like, that's not helpful. So I expressed my frustration to another mom in my neighborhood, and I was like, this is killing me.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, me too. And we kind of like looked at each other like, wait a minute, what if we did this together? And I was like, you don't work on Mondays, right?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I don't work on Tuesdays. You cook for everyone Monday, I'll cook for everyone on Tuesday. Then we roped another girl in, and we had this supper club. So I had to cook 1 night a week instead of, 4 or 5 nights a week. And then suddenly we're like, let's do this with babysitting too. I can take all the kids one Friday, you take all the kids one Friday. All of a sudden, we're all kind of doing this together.
Oh my gosh,
creating
that is fabulous.
Community, and all it cost us was a set of Pyrex, you know? Drop dinner off at the door at 5:30, and you're done.
It's like, it takes a village.
It takes a village.
That village really stood up. I love it.
Yeah, and you got to make your own village. I mean, most of us aren't lucky enough, right, to live next to extended family or what have you, but you can go out and find it, and it doesn't cost you a dime, but you have to be brave enough to ask.
Right, that's the key.
Yep.
Ubiquitous self-care.
That's what we're talking about. All of this stuff is taking care of yourself, right? It's making choices that fit with your values. It's being curious and open to new things. It's leaning on other people. It's creating community. It's filling up your cup. It's making you satisfied, which is the ultimate self-care.
Right. Absolutely. Great advice. We want to tell everyone again, the book is titled The Fairy God Doctor's Guide to a Good Life. Dr. Denise Brown, thank you so much. This was so really fun. I'm glad you got to the rhododendron
Oh my God, I'm going back. Okay. I'm going back.
We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away. Yeah, isn't it beautiful?